How we doing, guys? Welcome to the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. I am your host, Richie. Today, Major League Baseball's opening day features a good slate of games. I'm going to read you my predictions and how I think today plays out in the very first game of 162. I've got the Yankees beating the Giants 5-2 in Yankee Stadium. Home teams and caps, by the way. I've got the Braves beating on the Nationals 10-2. Orioles going into Fenway, winning 9-7. The Cubs over the Brewers by a run. Rays 7, Tigers 1. I've got the Rangers losing to the Phillies in 10. I've got the Pirates beating the Reds. I've got the Royals beating the Twins. I've got the Cardinals beating the Blue Jays 7-4. Astros 4-3 over the White Sox in 11. I've got the Mets defeating the Marlins. Padres 13-4 over the Rockies. My one shutout is the Angels over the Athletics. Diamondbacks 3 for the upset in Chavez Ravine over the Dodgers, and I've got the Mariners beating the Guardians 4-3 in 12. I got to say, as a Yankee fan, my big excitement about today is undeniably the appearance, the start, Anthony Volpe. It's just got a great story attached to it. Andrew Velasquez, when he manned down that position for a brief time, I think most Yankee fans knew it was temporary. It was kind of like a Cinderella story. But I think what this kid Volpe brings, and especially when you look at guys that have started opening day at that very young age, it's just a phenomenal list. And I think he's going to bring a lot of excitement similar to what a Derek Jeter did back in 96, which was his rookie season. Jeter did appear in some games in the 1995 season, but his true rookie year was actually considered 96. He did win Rookie of the Year. The Yankees did win the World Series. I think for my team personally, I think Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton both go deep today, and I'm expecting good things out of Garrett Cole against a pretty good Giants team. Giants had an off year last year, but I do expect them to be a player and potential wild card in the National League this year. I think there's a few other teams that are going to be vying for that. I also believe that the New York Mets, despite losing, in my opinion, currently the best closer in all of baseball, Edwin Diaz, I think David Robertson is going to have an opportunity to be that guy. He has a championship track record with the New York Yankees, and he is a legitimate closer when called upon. I think he could do a good job to kind of take some of the strain and some of the worry off of losing such a great like an Edwin Diaz. I wish Edwin Diaz well in his recovery. As far as the Mets go, it's going to be exciting to see Justin Verlander coming in, getting his first start as a member of the New York Mets. How's it going, Jake? Thank you for watching, man. Thank you for watching. The Mets and the Braves. I think more than likely two-team race out in the National League East. I do believe that the Philadelphia Phillies have an opportunity to make it back to a World Series, but there are some legitimate injuries, and I do think that that could hinder them. I also believe that there could be a dark cloud hanging over the situation regarding Aaron Nola, as he is expected to more than likely leave the Phillies after the year. They were unable to come to a contract extension, and they will not be talking anymore during this season. Team needs, I've spoken on it quite a bit on the last few shows for my team. Left field, definitely a concern right now, kind of like a platoon going on. We are missing Harrison Bader. He will be hurt out of the lineup. Hopefully, the quickest return will be middle of the month, kind of like on the tax deadline, April 15th. Mike Zappi, one of my co-hosts, Giants about to take out their frustrations on the Yankees after losing out on Arson Judge. Shout out John Heyman. Hey, it's possible, dude. I'll take an opening day loss for locking up Judge for the pretty much the remainder of his prime. Don't agree with you, though, pal. I do think that you guys are going to be in a bit of a slugfest with the Phillies today. Good test off the jump for your Texas Rangers. I think you have a lot to be excited about, Zappy. It's going to be fun to see what Jacob deGrom can do for your team. We all know when he's healthy that he is one of the best, if not the best pitcher in all of Major League Baseball. Back to my team, what I was referring to, left field, definitely a concern. Could be a potential platoon, as I stated. IKF is going to get some action out there. Aaron Hicks. I don't foresee Giancarlo Stanton playing in left. If he's going to be playing the field at all, I see it in right. I find him to be less of a liability in right field. Aaron Judge is going to be manning down center field, something that he did very successfully last year, but we do need Harrison Bader to contribute. He was the other part of that Jordan Montgomery trade. Montgomery pitched very well for the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm picking the Cardinals to win the National League Central, and I think that they are definitely going to be heard from in October. Nola versus DeGrom, hard to not get excited. Oddly enough, Zap, I think the bats are going to outweigh the pitching. I don't think that's what you're going to normally see in a DeGrom start, but I have a feeling that both bats it's going to be a flurry of bats today. I got you guys coming up short in an extra inning game. I mean, we'll see, but it's going to be a fun game. Could be home run derby action out there. Zappy and I did a show yesterday giving our final World Series predictions. I've got the Yankees losing a tough series to the San Diego Padres. I think the San Diego Padres are just that loaded. And they have the kind of depth and the kind of balance on a lineup where even multiple injuries should not derail them. I mean, you're talking about a team that made it to the playoffs last year, beat a very good New York Mets team. That was without any assistance from Fernando Tatis, who was overcoming a wrist injury and while being injured, got popped for PEDs. He's got a lot to prove. Zappy's got him as the National League home run leader. All right. 4-3 Rangers. Maybe so, dude. It's going to be a good game. Going to be a fun game to watch. I wish you guys well today. I know you're excited about a new era in Rangers baseball. Wanted to hit on the Washington Commanders here for a moment. The Commanders' sale is near, and quite frankly, I think it is very necessary. I was reading an article here just trying to catch up some of the players of guys who are looking to buy this. Harris and bear with me, Apostolopoulos apparently got there first. It looks like they are the front runners. This team is going to go for about $6 billion, which would be the biggest franchise sale NFL history. This particular team also features legendary Lakers point guard Magic Johnson. My understanding, according to what I saw from what Arthur Blank mentioned, is that Dan Snyder is actually living in the United Kingdom right now. And I believe that he is just trying to lay low and see what becomes of the accusations regarding him. When I think about the Commanders, formerly the Redskins, I think of a very proud organization. And I think of a team that definitely needs new direction. There could be even a head coaching shakeup when you're getting down to the personnel. But this team is long overdue to be good again and to be proud again. And when you have, a lot of things going on upstairs, it appears that, in a lot of ways, it's made them almost like a forgotten commodity in the NFC East and a little forgotten. When you think about the NFC East, you think about the Cowboys, the Giants, and the reigning NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles. But I do think the team featuring Magic Johnson and Harris will ultimately purchase this team. Got a little bit of a thought on Julius Randle. Bad juju with juju. Over the course of this season, we've seen a few games here and there where Knicks point guard Jalen Brunson was sidelined. Julius Randle had to take over. We've seen more recently what the team looks like without Julius Randle. I have said this for a while now, that I do believe that while Julius Randle is a very talented player, I don't think he is necessarily what the Knicks need on that everyday roster. I would have actually liked to see him get moved in the offseason. There were grumblings that he could have been moved to the Utah Jazz for Donovan Mitchell, I'm sure, obviously including a fair share of draft picks. Thunderlips added Freddie Peralta, Zappy. All right. He's already having some second guesses about his roster. Julius Randle, to me, is a good player. I don't view him as a superstar, and I do believe that in 2020, the pandemic season, when he truly arrived in terms of the national limelight, I think to a level it got to his head. I view him as a selfish player, and I don't necessarily like his shot selection, particularly if a point guard like a Brunson isn't playing. We saw how the Knicks played yesterday against the Miami Heat. Quality win. And I was very proud of the Knicks. The Knicks need to right the ship going into the playoffs. As far as Randle goes, he's got a high ankle sprain. We'll see how long that keeps him sidelined. But quite frankly, I think they're a better team without him. I think the shot selection is better. And I think the combination of Emmanuel Quickley, Jalen Brunson opens up the offense in a much better way, where I just think they're getting better shots. The defense, for the most part, since the acquisition of Hart, has been much better. I do think the Knicks are getting in playoff mode. My fear is that Julius Randle could potentially hinder the offense. I might not have the most popular opinion on that. I would venture to say that Knicks fans are probably 50-50 on my take, and that's all right. Randle needs to be traded. Yes, sir. Indeed. Yes, Randle does need to be traded, Zap. Couldn't agree more. I think they're a better team without him. Yeah, no. And this has nothing to do with like a personal issue or vendetta against the guy. I just think that the offense runs better without him. I like unselfish players. I don't view Julius Randle as that. Back to MLB for a moment, as I gave you these scores. So I covered the Yanks, covered the Mets a little bit. Philadelphia Phillies, I kind of was alluding to that the injuries definitely have me concerned about their immediate future and how they're going to pan out this year. Remember, this is a team last year that prior to canning Joe Girardi did not look anything like a playoff team. In fact, they were quite bad. I almost thought about taking a bet in Vegas to figure who's the worst team in Major League Baseball, because I actually feel like the Oakland Athletics could be it. Just to throw a couple of other teams out there that could potentially be really just god-awful, I would say the Cincinnati Reds as well as the Washington Nationals. When I think of dark horses, teams that maybe some people, even the guys on my own panel, didn't select to make the playoffs, I know that last night at the 11th hour, Zappy kind of switched up his pick on the Texas Rangers, having them get in. I think it's a good shout. Friend of the show, Jake, who actually did my fantasy baseball draft with me and my guy, John Olson, kind of brought to my attention that he thought I was a little too high on the Baltimore Orioles given their pitching situation. I actually think that this year the Orioles could potentially be buyers at the trade deadline. Good friend of the show, Sergio Rodriguez, made a good point with regard to the luxury tax, saying how a lot of Yankee fans don't truly understand the intricacies of how this works. When you have teams in your division, like, say, a Baltimore and, say, a Tampa Bay, for instance, I like the way Sergio worded this and really broke it down. When the Yankees go over the luxury tax, you are essentially giving ammunition to teams that are chasing you. In Uncle Stevie's case, same city, other division, other league. I believe that the reason why the Mets are able to do some of that is because a team like the Marlins, even though they do have some promising players, they still stink. The Nationals are next level awful. So I do understand in that regard why I think the Mets budget and kind of busting over some of those luxury tax lines happens a little more frequently. Sleepers, guys that could get into the playoffs this year that we're not really paying attention to. I did mention it on last night's show. I kind of like the Milwaukee Brewers to potentially snag one of those wild cards. I also think a team like the Chicago Cubs, who nobody's talking about, not necessarily getting into the playoffs, but I do think there's some upside, and I think better days are coming for the Cubs. If I had to pick the worst division in all of Major League Baseball, look no further than the American League Central. I think you have a lot of mediocrity there. I do have a great deal of respect for Terry Francona's team, Cleveland Guardians, formerly the Indians. Shane Bieber, definitely a Cy Young candidate, and I do think that Jose Ramirez is going to have a hell of a year. Stephen Kwan, damn good hitter. I think he's going to continue to expand on his pretty good rookie campaign, and I think that without question, they are the Central champions. We will see if they are battle-tested enough to hang with the big dogs, like the Astros, like the Yankees, like the Mariners. Houston Astros lost Justin Verlander. They are defending world champions. Verlander is in Queens. He is the ace for the Mets, co-ace along with Mad Max Scherzer. Seattle Mariners definitely gonna play a role in, closing the gap potentially with the Astros. Jose Altuve, one of their mainstays is going to be out for possibly up to 90 days, 3 months. Chris Sale for Cy Young. Get out of here, Brett. Dummy. Thanks for watching, Brett. I'm happy that you're hanging with us this morning. Happy opening day to you. Wish you were off today. I would have told you to come to the house. Got my food and my beer ready. Looking forward to just having a really awesome off day and enjoying baseball. Baseball is back, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't already, please make it a point to like and subscribe to the channel, the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. And I would love for you guys to hit my inbox and let me know what you want us to speak on for the near future. We're going to be working on more movie shows. Some of the winners from those previous movie shows are going to be coming about. And you'll be looking for, myself, Idris, my main man, Zappy, as well as our guy, Brett. And we've been working on getting some new guests on the show, too. So that is definitely something that we're turning the wheels on. Until next time, I am Richie. I appreciate you guys watching, and happy opening day. Let's go Yankees.